Hello and welcome to NFL Experts. I'm Dave Kress along with Louie DB. And today we are going to go over our top 5 defensive ends, more about the draft. But we're going to switch it up a little. We get the idea of going backwards from 5 to 1.
All right, so number 5, we have Ezekiel. I have Ezekiel Ansah.
Yep.
Oh yeah. To me, he is a great raw talent, but like a lot of scouters are saying, he's got a lot of work to do, getting down his fundamentals and where he fits in different defensive schemes. So Ezekiel Ansah, I think, could be a first-round pick if he has a very impressive combine. Then I think you can see him going in the later first round.
Yeah, my number 5 is Sam Montgomery or whatever, something like that. And he is out of LSU, and I see him. I've seen a lot of mock drafts where they have him going to the Ravens, late first, obviously 32nd. But so I think he'll float late first, maybe second round, mid to early second round. But yeah, he's good. He's obviously going to LSU. He has also Mingo on the other side of him, so that's great. Probably the two who are my number. He's my number 4. Mingo is. So he's great. Yeah.
All right, my number 4 is Deion Jordan out of Oregon. Deion Jordan, to me, is definitely a first-round pick. The best pass rusher in Oregon for a while, over double-digit sacks again this year. He's just been great. I think he's super fast, great run-stopping defensive end that really can fit in a 4-3 or a 3-4 to me.
Yeah, I'd probably have Deion Jordan, probably my number 6. I was debating putting him in here over Sam Montgomery. But, yeah, so my number 4 is Barkevious Mingo, like I mentioned, out of LSU. He's probably the better defensive end out of LSU, obviously. He's great. He'll probably go in the 20s, probably in the first round. I see a lot of defensive ends going in the first.
All right, my number 3 is Barkevious Mingo as well, out of LSU. Great raw speed, probably the best run-stopping defensive end in this draft. Great speed. He's really tall. To me, I think he has the potential to go top 10. It depends on how many pass rushers get picked. A lot of people are saying he could go to teams like Cleveland or Detroit, who are in need of a pass rusher, as well as Detroit, since they might lose Cliff Averill and Kyle Vanden Bosch. A great talent, and I think can definitely be a top 10 pick, if not for sure first-round pick.
All right, my number 3 is Ezekiel Ansah out of BYU. Like you said, he's really got a lot to prove at the combine. But if he shows up, he could be a first-round pick around there. But yeah, probably I see most of these defensive ends going in the first round. How many defensive ends do you think will be drafted in the first?
I think the potential, if everybody no one hurts their status at the combine, I think you could definitely see at least. In this top 5, I think almost everybody in this top 5 list.
Yes.
There's a lot of need for pass rushing this year, and I think it's a very deep draft this time for the defensive ends.
Well, yeah, I mean, pretty much except for a few, except for like a handful of guys, most of the people getting drafted are going to be offensive linemen, defensive linemen, or linebackers.
Yeah, linemen's really deep this year, and you can never have enough pass rushers, especially with different schemes. I mean, it's one of those positions that you can just keep stocking up, and this year's a great one, especially if you have a high pick.
Mm-hmm.
All right, my number 2, I have Demontre Moore.
Yeah, I also have him at number 2 out of Texas A&M.
All right, Demontre Moore is, to me, other than Bajoran Werner, I think for sure will be a top 10 pick. Another great run stop. There's a lot of great run stopping defensive ends, but his pass rushing ability is, to me, the best other than Werner.
Yeah.
Definitely a top 10 pick. It's just there's some maturity issues there. They hope to, during the interviews in the combine, work out with Moore. To me, had another double-digit sack year, so Moore, definite first-round pick. It just depends on what teams think of them on their own personal chart.
Well, yeah, so, like you mentioned, Bajoran, how do you even say that first name?
Bajoran Werner out of Germany.
All right, so he's out of Florida State, and like I can see him going to the Jaguars with the second pick of the draft. I mean, Moore's more of a pass rusher than Werner, but Werner is more the all-around guy, like run stopper and all that.
Definitely. Bajoran Werner, like you said, I can definitely see going second overall. Depends what the Jaguars want. Gus Bradley, the former defensive coordinator of the Seahawks, could go the other way with Jarvis Jones or even more. Depends on what they like. But Warner, to me, is the best full all-around defensive end. He's got all the intangibles, speed, size, strength. I mean, he's going to be one of those quickly impacting pass rushers like Von Miller and Alden Smith, where he can get definitely double-digit sacks in the first year if he fits into the right scheme.
All right, so that's going to do it for this edition of our NFL Experts draft coverage. Next draft episode we'll be doing is the top 5 defensive tackles in the draft, but we're probably going to work on some way too early fantasy rankings next, receivers and tight ends. So we'll live that up, and then we'll get back to draft with the defensive tackles, outside linebackers, and inside linebackers. Be sure to follow me on Twitter at DaveCrossSports and Louie at DD Sports Talk. Also, on Fridays starting tomorrow, the 21st, is it tomorrow? Or something like that. I think it's 22nd. We are starting our live shows on blogtalkradio.com. If you want to call in, you can. Just go to blogtalkradio.com/NFL Experts.